Hello, friends, Romans, and countrymen, fellow energists from around the world. It is I, Sylvia, coming to you from beautiful Eastbourne by the sea today with a thing that I saw on Twitter and which demanded that I should immediately jump forth and make a video on the topic. And the topic is trust your gut. Ha! And let me show you what I saw and which caused me to have 40 fits. This is apparently an article from The Atlantic entitled, "Following Your Gut Isn't the Right Way to Go." The experts had a rough year, but we still have to trust them. Oh my God. Oh my God. Following your gut isn't the right way to go. The experts have had a rough year, but we still have to trust them. Oh my God. Oh, hit that remove button, Sylvia. All right. So, oh my God, where do I start? Where do I start? Well, let's start with an at the time huge internet forum of people interested in personal development. There were 20,000 people on it back in the day. And the question was asked, if you had one message you could send back in time to your past self as life advice that would, have really helped that aspect change their lives, what would it be? And the overwhelming answer of 20,000 people was, over and over again, trust your gut. For the love of God, trust your gut. And why did these people say this so overwhelmingly? And if I asked you that same question, what advice would you be giving to your past self? Trust your gut. Why did they give that answer? The answer is that when you don't trust your gut, you make terrible mistakes that you end up regretting for your entire life. In fact, I had an entire research program around this where people were doing like energy tapping and so forth, and it wouldn't work. And there was this weird block to why the problem wouldn't resolve or release. And I found out that if you went back in these cases where it wasn't happening, is that there was a moment of warning beforehand, before it happened. I specifically remember a lady who she got in the car with the wrong people. She ended up being raped and left for dead by the side of the road. And when they opened the door and said, "Come on in, baby, we're going for a ride," she had this really powerful feeling of that is not a good idea. But she overrode it with her head because these guys were popular and her social status at school and so on and so on and so on, and got in the car even though she got this powerful warning. There's also a young man who had been enticed, oh God, in Thailand to smuggle drugs back to the UK. Same thing, he had this response, this inner response that said, no, this is a terrible idea. But the guy talked him into it by waving money around. Then there was a lady who got in the car on this day and she wasn't feeling very well. And she got this really strong response, you shouldn't go out today. And she went anyway, got herself in an accident, ended up in a wheelchair. I could go on and on and on and on and on of stories where you have to, which demonstrate that trusting your gut, as the phrase goes, is life-saving. It's disaster preventing. How else would you know if a person is lying to you? And that's a personal story of mine. I had that back in the day, many years ago, when a dodgy mortgage was offered to an aspect who was only 18 years old, and she knew nothing about anything like that. But she had this powerful response that she knew this man was lying, and she stood her ground. And that was, well, it saved a disaster of having lost your house and nowhere to live for your family. So trusting your gut is the one thing that keeps us safe from liars and manipulators. From liars, most profoundly, in the context of this Atlantic article, which tells you should never trust your gut, trust the experts. Oh, they had a rough year. A rough year. It's 2023. The global panic pandemic began in 2020. Lies, 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 lies. And there were people who trusted their gut, and they're glad they did by now. This is our own human personal system to warn us of dangers, of traps, of things around the corner that we cannot see or know. And of course, everybody who follows my work, and if you don't, please, like and subscribe to the channel. This is super important information to navigate our way through our crazy times. We have not 5 senses, we have 6. The 6th sense is our emotions, and these are feelings in the body. And the so-called gut response, this is a 6th sense sensation. Policemen trust it. People all over the world trust it 100% to know that if somebody's showing you a lovely calm horse for sale and the gut response kicks in, to know that no, it may look perfect and the guy may tell you it's perfect, but actually it's been tranquilized and sat a ton of painkillers. This is not a good horse to take home and buy. This is a 6th sense reaction to the information that you're being presented with. You need to feel it, and you need to learn to understand it, and you, above all else, you need to learn to trust it, especially in all these situations where there's a lot of people telling you one thing, and they're experts and they're from the government, and of course they're going to be telling you the truth. And there you have this weird response, and it may not be in your gut. It may be prickling going up and down your back. That's gut response too. It may be all of a sudden your hands getting really cold and you're starting to sort of shiver inside. There's a multitude of fabulous sensations that tell us about the things that we cannot see or know in any other way. Everybody's had the experience of walking into a house where there's this lovely family and it's so nice and tidy and clean. The children are quiet and it's beautiful. It's a nice car in the drive, but there's this prickling going down the back of your spine, and you know there's something wrong here. There's some kind of bodies are buried, metaphorically speaking. Here, this is just the surface picture that they're presenting, but there's something underneath, and that is not pleasant. So trust your gut, people. For the love of God. This is, in my opinion, I can't say the word here. This is going out on YouTube. I have a new channel on Rumble, Starfield, Star Matrix, I think. Go and look me up, and I will make some videos on the topic here, because this whole thing of disconnecting individual person from their own 6th sense is, of course, a huge agenda for everybody who wants to manipulate people with lies. And if they don't have that gut response anymore, or if they don't trust it, then they are completely vulnerable, helpless to these lies that are being fed to them. And that's not what we want if you were looking for empowering people. And I'm in the business of empowering normal, everyday people, just to, understand a little bit more about reality absolute, to especially come back to this thing that has been completely edited out in the Western world, that we have a living energy body and it produces our emotions. And it does that not in order to punish or hurt us, but to inform us of the things that we cannot see. and that includes problems in the energy body itself, that it's not healthy, that it needs help, cries for pain, but also this thing of when people are lying to you or presenting you with an untruth, or there is a danger around the corner, behind the hedge, behind you, out of sight. That's what the sixth sense is for, among also many other things. So the Atlantic has revealed itself to be one of those channels through which dangerous misinformation is being spread, that we should not trust our own good senses, what we see in front of our eyes, what we actually hear through our ears. Oh man. And above all else, that sixth sense, gut response, which may not always be in the gut, that sixth sense response that warns us of lies, of danger, and of deceit. So I absolutely had to make this video today. If ever anybody tells you not to trust your gut, well, go back in your own memories and find examples of when you didn't and what happened when you did not trust your gut. Well, and the counter evidence too, what happened when you did trust your gut and what happened next. So in that sense, I am wishing you a wonderful reconnection to your own sixth sense, to pay attention to it, to understand it, that it's not something to be switched off so you can be all unemotional, but that it's something to listen to because it is giving you really important information that you need to have in order to make beneficial life decisions for yourself and for those you care for. And with that having been said, I thank you for your time. Please like and subscribe, leave me a comment that will help the channel grow. And I'm looking forward to seeing you on the next video. Bye for now.